So we are on to game number 4. Now the draft again, this VOD has already started. We don't see a Zach ban come out, but I don't think they're going to do that again. I mean, they do pick the video here though. We do have LeBlanc first pick come out though. So Scouts LeBlanc is going to completely ruin people. So we see the Viego here. Probably see a Varus come out too. So Aphelios now, then Varus in R2. I mean, they could go Ashe as well, but they have much preferred the Varus. There we go. Now on this side, we'll probably see maybe Lee Sin come out. I don't know if GG plays it though, but they do have a LeBlanc. Oh wait, Lee Sin is banned. My bad. So maybe we see Xin. Olaf, okay. I think Xin would have been better here than Olaf, to be honest. So, we see the Olaf come through. Again, objective control with Olaf is very, very good. You can't even like 3v1 him. If he's still alive, you can't do the objective. Ezreal probably comes out as a stun or Ashe. I mean, they're both completely fine, and it avoids him banning it in the second phase. Nidley would not be good here. To be fair, they've already shown that they can't play the Lissandra matchup, so. So since they can't play that Lissandra matchup, there's no point. Do they take the Zac again? They are taking Zac again. Zac Viego. Although, the thing with this is EDG would have had like a meeting at the end of that game with the analysts just saying, this is what you did wrong, this is why you did it wrong, this is how you play against it next time, bum bum bum. So I don't think it works as well a second time in a row, but I am glad to see a Zac being picked again. It's going to be an exciting game no matter who wins, to be honest. So we see a Cannon ban come out. From the side of EDG, we'll probably see maybe something like a Leona ban, since Trundle is already banned. A Ryze ban. Okay. I mean, over in LCK, they prioritize Ryze way more, and the Ryze LeBlanc matchup is good for the Ryze. So, they would just ban it away because they'd be one, so it's basically to stop them getting punished for taking a pick so early that's in a solo lane. From the side of LNG now, you probably need to ban Braum. I don't think they should leave Braum open, especially when it's with an Ashe, especially when they've got a Zac that wants to jump in. Nah, ban, complete grief, like, complete grief. Now they're going to give access over to EDG for Ashe Braum, and Zac isn't going to be able to do anything in this game. EDG probably just needs to ban away Leona, since I think LNG will be looking to secure a second solo lane here, unless you want to keep the flex alive. They could just ban Rakan's a good ban as well. Do we see the Leona come over? I think LNG here should just take Braum. Even though Leona's better, they should just take Braum into it, because, you know, it does do pretty well into Leona. Leona's just OP in terms of overall stats that she gets. But if the EDG get Braum here, then Zac's job is almost impossible, especially with the Ashe as well. So okay, so they do actually take the Braum away. Really, really good decision from them. Now they're going to get responded with Leona, which Leona Ashe is still quite a rough lane, but it's going to allow them to actually do way more later on into the game instead. We see the Jace come out. Jace into the Viego this time. Let's see, what was it last game? Oh, it's Viego Renekton, right? So, in terms of support, we see Leona. It'll be Leona. I don't know why he's fucking flashing so many. It will be Leona. I mean, Alice is okay too, but I mean, Rel's good too. It'll be Leona, surely. Oh, they do go with the Alistair. Okay. So this is a team that actually prefers the Alistair to Leona, I guess. I guess it's for the counter engage for when Zac jumps in, Alistair can knock him back. It makes sense. It's good. It's good. I mean, now I think about it more. I mean, Alistair is better here. Especially for getting the Viego away as well. Even though you have to W him after he's used his ult. If you do it before, he'll just ult back in on you. We do see the Syndra come out for Icon though. Into the LeBlanc. Now he's just trying to basically win it purely with range advantage. Now one of the advantages with Syndra as well is because her Q isn't a targeted spell. As long as you're not high priority for minions to target you. So if it's just you and them and you damage them, the minions will always target you because you're the closest thing for them to kill. Now if you're inside a wave and you drop your Q on them, then the minions won't actually target you if they've got another target in mind. So this is a really important thing to take into consideration on Syndra, and one of the reasons why she's actually such a big lane bully. Now on top of that, if LeBlanc W's in on her, she can just use her Q to kind of pop her, and if she positions properly, as soon as LeBlanc jumps back to her W, she can E, and that'll actually push her ball into LeBlanc no matter what. So this is why this is considered a very big or a good matchup for Syndra. And also then you have later on into the game where her ultimate and her E combo is very good in team fights. But not only that, but she can also completely blow up LeBlanc if she slightly gets ahead and gets penetration, if the LeBlanc decides to kind of jump in. So very interesting to see what they're adapting to in this kind of mid lane, considering it is Scout and he's been completely dominating these games. But we'll see. Let's just skip to the game. So let's have a look at runes. Again, same runes all around. Like I said last time, Annabelle, I actually really like these runes on Zac. For the side of Olaf, he's got boots, fine. Again, Gathering Storm on Chase, love to see it. We have Hex Flash Alley, perfect. We do see the Spellbook Braum come out here as well, so Braum is going to look to just roam off as much as possible. Now, this is something that I don't know who started it, but Carrier is a big fan of this as well, so standard early game. Icon's getting run down. Okay, so never mind. LeBlanc's got first blood. She wins the matchup now. I mean, because now she can like W in like weird ways and do more damage, and she doesn't need to rely on her W as much to get that damage off. Icon's going straight back in though. Nah, no way. Nah, what's he doing? Nah, what's he doing? Icon's griefing. What the fuck is this? Nah, man. How does Tarzan win? Okay, so a fight in the top lane. Ali is level 2, so a huge trade. He's not gonna flash. I thought he was gonna for a second there. Scout gets instantly popped. Sorry. So as we can see now, even though Syndra did obviously lose, like we can see this massive CS lead comes from the fact that, like I said, she is a massive lane bully and she can do a lot. Now Scout gets caught here by Tarzan with his ult. Now obviously, with his E, sorry. Now obviously you can't really use LeBlanc clone against a Zac, because if he Qs you initially, even if you go into that clone, as long as he Qs you before you go into it, you still get it off. So again, Tarzan's going nuts. Again, Jace does have the ability to just eat him back though, so it's quite a good matchup. But this recall is very greedy. He's got no mana. Like, what is he doing? The Jace W on range form is actually super cool for the fact that if somebody puts a ward down and you instantly do it, because you get max attack speed for 3 attacks, you instantly kill a ward, which, you know, is great. It's kind of the same thing with Leona, where your Q resets your auto, so you can auto Q auto a ward. That's why these champions are super valuable. It's these little interactions that they can do that just make them so good. Now Tarzan does get spotted inside his jungle by the Ashe E, so they do know where he is. So maybe they do look to go more aggressive in this bot lane now, considering they know where enemy jungler is. Probably not going to though. GG is walking in though to potentially try and invade Tarzan, and this is why Zac doesn't work when these early game junglers are available, because right now if GG actually gets on top of Tarzan, he is going to kill him. And this is the thing, Tarzan, Zac really struggles because he can't really get CS because Olaf now has his jungle. And this is the thing that I said, like, the first time they did this, EDG did get caught off guard. The second time they've done it, it's just not going to be the same. So they actually managed to get Icon here. He's going to die. And yeah, this is one of the reasons why Olaf is a good early game jungler, because he just has so much slow on his Q. He's going to slow them up here now too. Unfortunately, he did miss it on Tarzan. I don't know why he threw it there. Like, he was always just going to run straight down. He should just aimed it directly at him. But he is still going for this Gromp, and you can't really steal Gromp away because of E Smite. So Ashe is doing a massive amount of damage, and obviously Ashe gets more damage if she gets a W and slows them. So she's just doing absolute work there, and we can see already that this gold lead in the jungle is acquiring massively. We've got a roughly 5,000 gold lead for the side of EDG already in this jungle matchup. And like I said, I was excited to see the Zac the first time, but the second time, I feel like you just can't do that again. I feel like they drafted it this time because they were more so struggling of what to actually go with. But the Olaf is just way too oppressive inside the jungle. There's nothing he can really do, so... So now we can see the Scout just completely styling on Icon and misses that E as well. This actually forces the TP to come in from Ale just so Icon doesn't get run down. So it's just really, really bad. So, Scout does actually get caught here, but it's just really not enough. It's very hard for you to actually do anything on LeBlanc. And this is also one of the reasons why LeBlanc is such a good mid laner, because it's not just the fact that she's strong as in the amount of damage that she can do now due to the way the penetration and stuff works, but it's also the fact that Scout can go for Merc Treads in this game. He's now vulnerable from the Syndra CC, or it's reduced by enough that he can get away with his W. The Braum 2, and what you're doing is you're reducing that CC so that you can just instantly W away. Now, because you can instantly W away, it means it's very hard to actually gank you, considering it's not on that massive of a cooldown early either. At level 1 it is around 18 seconds, but it does go down significantly down to about 10 or less. So it means that when you do start putting some points into it, you get a much lower cooldown, and it just becomes harder and harder and harder to gank a LeBlanc, to be honest. Like, it just becomes almost an impossible feat. It's kind of like trying to gank a Zed. You need to wait for him to burn his W before you can gank him. If he just never really burns it, he's going to just slowly poke out your mid if he's if they're a like a squishy or a melee, stuff like that. So we see that they did look to start this Herald. Now EDG are a very, very strong position right now due to the fact that Zach is so far behind, even though he has that kill. Ale is looking to try and do something, but it's just not going to be enough. I don't know if it's Ale or Ale, so I'm just going to rotate through them until I hear somebody else say it. But I'm going to be watching all the games, so I'm not sure when I'm going to hear someone saying it. Maybe I'll find out. Either way, this game is looking much more in kind of EDG's ballpark now, to be honest. They haven't fallen behind by this. They've got a jungle matchup that counters the kind of cheese strat that they were going for. Scout now has blue buff, which means he can use his W to not only clear the wave and roam, but he can also use more mana on trades as well, which is very, very important. Now the reason why this is also important is because if we look in his inventory, he does have Dematerializer because he can't really outpush a Syndra and he needs to be able to crash that wave. So the Demat's a very interesting rune on LeBlanc. It's pretty good in this matchup specifically, but you also have the fact that Demat is going to take up an inventory slot. So what do you do to offset that? Well, it means that you can't get Lost Chapter because there's too many components in it to build, so you still want that massive AP boost, so instead you go for Blasting One, but you have to get blue buff. Now Olaf, you know, he can use blue buff, but in this situation it's way more important for Scout to get it. They are going to drop 2 plates here. Icon does come in with the TP, but it's just not enough. 160 gold going over to both. And LeBlanc is, you know, getting very, very strong at this point. She has this mana so that she can just stay inside the laning phase. And again, both junglers are now finished their smite upgrade, so they will potentially look to start objectives now. We do have the Herald that went over to EDG, but unfortunately the Dragon is a Infernal, which means there is a very big chance that the Soul might be bad. So you don't really want to prioritize that as much. Especially if there's risk that it can get stolen. Now I do think the Olaf should just go and get it for the damage boost that he gets, but he's just completely occupied by walking inside the Zach's jungle and just completely zoning him out. So I mean, all around pretty good play. Braum's actually sweeping area from that vision, getting control of the Dragon, so maybe we actually see LNG attempt it. Actually we don't. Zach is actually looking on top lane. Again, we do manage to get that flash out of the Jace. Zach is a very long range ability, and especially considering he's level 7 now, that's one of his big spikes. We do see a TP coming down from Jace though, I think. No, sorry, this is Scout's TP to catch off LNG for overextending. So every time they overextend, Scout is instantly there with a TP. So this is the thing, the kind of difference with comp and pro play as well is if you, pro play and solo queue, if you're playing in say solo queue on LeBlanc, you might be tempted to go something like Ignite, just so that you have that massive lane pressure, especially into other squishy mid laners, especially if they're going to be making a lot of mistakes. Now for competitive it's a bit different because the TP actually provides you more because your laners can set you up for a really good TP, so that's kind of where the variance really comes from. But right now we can see that LeBlanc now does have a Lost Chapter, so it doesn't matter that she doesn't have blue buff anymore. Zach is the only one with a kill, and to be honest, they're just going to dive bot here and kill instantly. Mako does actually have level 6 on Alistair, so he can tank this tower for an ungodly amount of time, and this is kind of why Alistair is so good, especially when you're going for these comps with things like LeBlanc that can easily dive into bot lane, because the Alistair is just so powerful at diving due to the fact he has so much CC and his ultimate gives him such a large damage reduction. So here we see Tarzan trying to make a play on the opposite side of the map, just doing whatever he can, trying to get Ali as fed as he was in the last game, but it's just really not going to happen at this point. I mean, he is very strong in terms of the fact that he's got a lot of plates and he's doing a lot in this kind of matchup, especially considering I'm pretty sure they chose Jace into Viego here, and they knew that there was a potential for it to go top because it did last game. So we see a replay here of the bot dive. Now we just see the Alistair just slowly walk up and, you know, just instantly go on the Varus to get the aggro and then just ults, and look how much damage the tower is just not doing to him. Like, he literally just allowed to survive for so long. Tarzan doing whatever he can in terms of the jungle and just literally trying to get a kill on the opposite side of the map just to try and kind of cross map a little bit, since to be honest Viego is the only potential that he has to actually win this game now, in my opinion. I think EDG is just so far ahead in terms of tempo, and obviously you've got this Olaf and LeBlanc that are going to be popping off now. LeBlanc on 5 stacks on Dark Seal right now. Very interested to see if she will go into that MEJAIS. She did miss the E, but she got a auto in instead, which did manage to get her electrocute off. So still a pretty good trade. This is one of the things with LeBlanc, you really play around your electrocute being off cooldown, unless you've got team like here to help. So Olaf misses his Q. He does throw it short, I'm pretty sure there, but I mean it wouldn't have killed either way, so it's completely fine. Scout jumps in, and then, you know, Icon instantly uses his E, but he jumps back straight away, so it doesn't really turn into anything. So Varus, yes, he's gone Prowler's Claw. Thank God. What? Thank God. Finally somebody's done it. Finally. Now the thing is, Prowler's Claw gives lethality from its mythic bonus. So if you're playing something like Lethality Varus that wants as much lethality as possible, then Prowler's Claw just gives you more, and it's also a repositional tool. Now this was on 11.15, so before they actually nerfed the interaction with Prowler's Claw as well. So really nice to see that he's actually picked this up now. They're gonna EDG just gonna get a second Herald and use it to probably break open mid lane at this point, to be honest, just so that it's very difficult for the Varus to farm, just because he will still be doing quite a lot of damage. And they could also use it in top, don't get me wrong, but I really don't think that this Viego wants his laning phase with this Jace ended yet, considering he's so like playing like he's so strong right now, you know. He does back away from that, especially because, I mean, Tarzan probably called. Actually, he was actually sat in that brush to get vision to see that they were coming. He uses Z to get in range, but they're just going to back out instantly. They got the TP out of Icon, and that's all they need. Now they'll have a TP advantage on Scout in about 30 seconds. So if they look to use that, then it's very good. And Scout's been very relentless with his TPs in these games also. So lovely to see, Like, the amount of damage that this LeBlanc is going to be doing now is nuts. Like, look at that. Like, Varus just... he's going to get squashed. We can see here, actually. Scout might jump in. Okay. He's just looking to potentially zone them away from the tower, just so it's an easier time for Ash to just take this tier 1. There's a dragon coming up as well, and thank God it is Cloud. This could be a potential fast game for the side of EDG if they get this Cloud Drake, since they're going to get a potential Ocean Soul off this game, which is going to be huge. Now, Mountain Soul is going to be more impactful than Ocean Soul, but GG is just going to be able to solo it very easily with this Olaf. So, again, we're looking at another 10 minutes, and then we're going to get this Ocean Soul come through, and if I'm the side of LNG right now, they have to be able to find this gold in order to potentially contest this ocean, otherwise the game is over for them. Obviously, if they do manage to get 4 oceans in a row, then great, but I really don't think they're in a position to do that now. Yeah, it's just not too great. Okay. So, I mean, it's very difficult at this point for the side of LNG to actually bring this back. Scout can just instantly clear Krugs, which is pretty funny. So he's just clearing them on his way to the lane. He's just going to get this bot prio again. Like we previously mentioned, there is a TP advantage for the side of EDG in this game due to the way that they had that top lane rotation earlier into the game, burning Icon's TP. So this means that LeBlanc is now in the bot lane due to the fact that the Baron is coming up in roughly 2 minutes and they're in a position where they can take it, especially with Olaf. So what she's doing is she's just trying to get as much pressure as possible and get this tier 2 pressured so that Ali can't move. Now they have no TPs, so I'm very intrigued to see if EDG will try going for a early Baron play here, especially considering there is no vision on it from the side of LNG. So we can see they're just trying to force his tower in now, just so that they can push these minion waves up to a point that they can start sieging their base. As soon as they do that, then it's very easy for them to kind of rotate onto things like Baron, because as soon as their minions are kind of knocking on that door, then, you know, Baron is a much easier kind of option, especially considering if you can push this top wave out fully and get full priority over this lane and started knocking on the base towers, then what ends up happening is you end up in this kind of position where you can just go on the Baron instantly. I don't think it'll really matter. Wandy dies here as well. Syndra griefed it. They've just given up. Like, honestly, LNG have just given up. They're just going to rotate onto the Baron now. The Jace is resetting, but he does have teleport available. Ali just trying to do whatever he can and just trying to kind of take that away, but so they're actually going to reset. They're not going to try and just instantly go on the Baron, I guess, because Icon does have his TP available now. We do see a TP coming in from Jace, but will Scout be able to get on top of Ale? I don't think he will. So a little bit of a wasted TP from the Jace, considering Baron is available. So now they have one less TP. So that was just kind of all around bad, to be honest. Like, they just shouldn't have done that. I mean, I think this is just looking doomed for LNG. I don't think they can bring this back now. They're just getting snowballed on so hard. Especially considering this dragon is available. We see Scout resetting, ready for it. He does have TP available, so there's no big rush, but they're just going to lose this this entire wave to that tower, which means they're just leaking resources in side lanes. Syndra does go to clean it up. She does have TP available for the objective, but just going to get this tower. Another 600 gold. Syndra TP coming in. This is going to be probably the last team fight of the game, potentially. Ash doing a ton of damage in the background. Scout manages to jump on top of Wandy. Almost completely one-shot him. Alistair does get a combo in, but he just can't do anything. Syndra E pushes him away. Scout does manage to kill the Braum though, and now they're just going to rotate straight onto this ocean and then potentially go for the Baron as well at a later point. And Tarzan is still available, so they don't still alive, so they don't really want to do too much just yet, but they're just going to get this ocean, and now they know that they're all within this bottom side of the map. Now they do have vision on the Baron, but they should use this opportunity to, I guess they're resetting. Okay, so all reset, go all get control of Baron Pit in terms of vision, and then just look to force Baron, and if they come, they just fight them and kill them. Cosmic Drive second on LeBlanc. This is just so that she can get in range better to do things like chain and stuff like that. So it is nice to see. Okay, so Jace potentially getting caught, but Mako is here. Ale is just going to die if he continues. Now, he does back away, which is fine. Now they know that he is bot side. He does have TP, which is good in terms of lane assignment. But I think EDG aren't even going to potentially flip and go for Baron, to be honest. I think they're literally just going to focus on this bot side of the map. And instead just focus on getting this Ocean Soul. Now, Ocean Soul on this team is going to be absolutely huge. Now, GG does have a lot of KP in this game, but I feel like he's way too flip. He's not really a consistent player. I feel like Tarzan is a very consistent jungler with the kind of situations he is put in being so terrible. But they just need to wait 3 minutes now. 3 minutes and the game is done. This 26-minute mark is going to be so important for the side of LNG. And if they're not strong enough to take a fight and win it, then they're not going to do much. Now, on the one hand, though, Varus does actually have his 2-item spike now, so if he can actually get to this Muramana, he's just gone straight long swords to do as much damage as he can in this fight. It's actually a really good itemization from the side of Light. Unfortunately, there's not much he can do in this situation. Scout jumps over, Wandy gets popped again. Like, how many times is he going to int though? It's kind of crazy that every single team fight Wandy is dead at the start. Like, how is Tarzan ever meant to win a game when, like, his support is this poor? And mid, to be honest. Like, I mean, I know you're against Scout, don't get me wrong, but it just feels like LNG is a team that invested so much money into Tarzan that they just couldn't afford the rest of that comp. Even then, they made Worlds, so I guess it was kind of worth for the org, but there's no chance they win. I think the chances of LNG winning Worlds are just way too low. It'll never happen. So, again, Wandy is back now. The thing is, he's level 9. Which means he's so far behind right now that he actually respawns really quick. Whereas if it was someone like Scout, that's a huge reset timer. Or death timer, should I say. Ale just trying to get this blue buff, just trying to get anything he can from the side of EDG, but they're just going to come through the jungle. Wandy again, man, like, he instantly gets popped by the Ash Arrow, and then Tarzan jumps in as well. He's going to just instantly die if he continues going, considering the Ash is doing so much damage right now. Look at these slows going down. Jace is here as well too. They're just going to reset here. There is 1 minute 24 until the dragon. They just need to reset, spend all this gold they've got, and then go and get the dragon. I mean, I don't know, man. Wandy is definitely not at the level that you need to be in order to be successful at Worlds. Ale can have his pop-off games, but it's way too often that he gets really int games. But I also think it's because whoever's drafting for them is completely inting him repeatedly over and over and over. So that also might be one of the reasons why, you know, he's always forced onto these Renekton picks and just stuff that's really shit, and then ends up doing absolutely nothing all game. So, now, I mean, Ash is huge. And to be honest, everybody's huge. Oh, thank God, Scout got MEJAIS. Oh my God, you love to see it. You love to see it. It's so good. Okay, so Tarzan actually gets a pick on Scout, but it really isn't going to matter. They're just way too ahead in terms of gold right now. And in terms of items, 8k gold lead. Even if they take this fight, they're just going to lose. We see Scout with a really good chains on the backline to get Aelo and lock him up. And nice Varus ult comes in. Olaf is forced to use his ultimate. They're actually just going to back away from this and just go straight to the dragon. They're too low to actually contest him now. Jace is going to keep poking them. And Scout is probably going to keep looking for these flanks. He doesn't realize he's on a ward. Actually, he did just sweep it. So Scout actually has got MEJAIS. Thank God. So again, Ocean Soul goes over to the side of EDG. All they need to do now is force a fight. They'll probably use Baron to force a fight. That ward is so grief though. Like, I mean, like it's just troll. Like, The fact that that ward exists in that capacity is crazy. So we will just see EDG just go and take control of the jungle in like completely now, and then just kind of close the game out. They have Ocean Soul, which is so difficult to play into. It's unreal. So the thing is about Ocean Soul as well, the amount of mana it gives, it's basically a blue buff for the side of Scout here as well. Every time he does damage onto them, he's just going to get so much mana back. It's unreal. So they are just going to rush this Baron. There's nothing able to stop them right now. They can't even walk up here. Look at that damage and EQ from Jace halves Icon. So Jace does use the plant to get over, but now the Zac has no E and no plant. They're going to just stop the Baron and just go for the fight. I think that was a bit of a mistake, to be honest. I think they could have just taken the Baron instead, but again, it's not really going to matter that much. The amount they heal back off the Ocean Soul is just obnoxious, so they are just going to look to go and take control again. This fight is very, very split, though. Like, Ali is trying to do something, but it's just not enough. Again, another EQ from Jace, half HP onto the Varus. He is their main damage dealer at this point of the game, to be honest, and if he can never even walk up, then it's very unfortunate. Here, they actually managed to pick Tarzan. He does have his passive, though, so but there's nobody that can get there to defend. Will he try and use TP? Yes, so Syndra uses TP. Actually, no, Ali uses TP to keep Zac alive. He does just die instantly, though, and then the TP is... It does actually go through. Ashe gets a double kill, but Icon just insta-kill by this Jace EQ. Jace absolutely huge this game. Like, I don't even think they needed a Baron to end here. I think they could have just ran it down and ended. There's 40-second timers on mid right now, and jungle has 25-second as well. I guess Baron does help with this end, so there's no point not taking it, but Scout is just looking for any kind of kill that he can get. And is he just going to kill Light? He is. Just insta-killed. Like, why Light thought he could walk that way is unreal. There's jungle camps to take, and there's a massive wave coming in bot lane. Why do you need to be mid lane right now? It's just completely grief. So, I mean, this is going to be where EDG just look to end this game out. 11,000 kills, the second highest in LPL. I wonder who the first highest is. Oh, RNG, surely. So... Zac using his E just to get out. Hey, how's it going, Mitch? What should LNG be looking to do right now to come back? They can't. They can't. There is nothing they can do. The only thing that would bring this game back is if Varus gets an amazing ult into a massive Zac ER, into a huge Syndra RE, into the Viego, just getting all of the resets and all of the bounties. If Viego got like all 5 bounties right now, maybe LNG could win, but I doubt that's ever going to happen. Scout nearly gets caught here, but again, see, there's just so much to stop them. Zac instantly killed. That's what they're trying to do, actually. They're trying to get these bounties as much as possible on the Viego, but they just can't. They're not big enough. Zac is only on 2 items right now. He's just not tanky enough to carry this game, to be fair. But the thing is, this one was kind of over in draft. They managed to get a really good Zac pick in last game. No, Zac's amazing. Zac will actually do a ridiculous amount of damage as well. And he's a really hard champion to play, but if you're good with it, it's great. Now, I'll upload Game 3 later on tonight. I recommend watching it on YouTube. It was a really, really good example of where Zac was amazing. They first picked... I mean, yeah, it does, but he's not against Wits... oh, well, he wasn't against Wits End ADC last game, I don't think. Like, so the problem was... I'll show you, This was a really good game. So that's the series for EDG, because they wanted to give Viego to Ali. Now, if we look, I'll actually just show you here. So if we have a look at how the draft played out, you'll see exactly what happened, right? So right here, this was their current draft. So, the thing is, I mean, you still do kind of have kill pressure on Zac because his W is max HP. You just have a lot less, so it feels a lot rough. I mean, the thing is, Zac shouldn't really be a champion that goes for massive kill pressure anyway, but he just can due to him being max HP on his W. But so here, this is Zac done wrong, right? So here, they first pick LeBlanc, okay, fair enough. They take Viego, Varus, great, okay. Viego's a flex in jungle and top and 3. Yeah. Now here, they've already picked Olaf. The problem with Zac is if you play champions that can invade him, he's completely useless. He needs to get to level 4 so that he gets enhanced E, and then level 5, and then he spikes at level 7, and then level 9 he's super fucking powerful. So if you can get through those first 2 or 3 jungle clears without getting punished, great. Now what we saw in this game, like we predicted, is the Olaf just walked into the jungle constantly. He's just in here all the time, walking in, pressuring him out. There's absolutely nothing Zac can do. At this stage of the game, he's already 20 CS up at 10 minutes. If we go to about 15, see, there's just way too big of a gap. Now, the reason they did it is because they didn't know what to draft. So if we actually have a look at their draft, they just griefed it because you could see by their faces they were confused on what to go. So here, we see... right, watch this, watch this. So it's just bad coaching. Yeah, so here, see, they get the Olaf, okay, great. They get the Ashe, okay. Now watch the facial expressions of the coaching staff and the team here. So that he's just scrolling through, and who's this guy? He's not saying anything. He looks confused as shit. Look at him, he's like, he has no idea. They have no idea what they want to draft in this R3 slot, which is completely grief because they're already showing the Sandra. So in this R3 slot, you just draft something like the Syndra here or LeBlanc. LeBlanc, Lissandra. And you just play for that. You've already got the jungle and the thing matchup showing, and then you wait to see what you want to pick for jungle later on. Problem is that they never prioritize Tarzan in their drafts. Ever. So see? And now they pick Zac. This guy's buck's fucking closed. He's not even looking at his notes. Like, now they pick Zac. It's like, what? So this is drafting done wrong. And this ended up with them losing the game. Now, if you want to see drafting done right, this was a very, very good draft from the side of LNG. So, what would have been good into Olaf? Anything. Like, Olaf is just there for objectives. There's so many good picks into it. Trundle, I don't think so. I think Trundle wasn't open, no. No, it wasn't. EDG were banning it second or third ban constantly. So no, Trundle isn't open. I mean, J4 is open, which he was good at this point. I think J4 was a very good champion at this point, but people don't want to, people still didn't want to take it at this point because it's 11.15. I think later on, people started realizing grades would have been okay. Remember though, this is 11.15. They could have taken Viego, yeah, and then just taken mid here. Even if they would have just taken mid here and then taken jungle here instead, much better, because what you can do in this period is you can take mid, you can ban mid bad matchups, and then you can take a good jungle matchup in both of these picks. That's why they're so good. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, this, their coaches completely fucked them. But now we have this draft, right? So this is a really good draft. So we see Viego taken B1, okay, completely fine. Xin Zhao is banned too, so the fact that they didn't ban Viego, completely grief. Now this way, EDG grief, they take Renekton straight away, which now they're already giving away a potential counter. And then look, we have Diana put. Diana is a farming jungler. She is not going to invade you. She's not going to invade you, because if she invades you, she loses too much tempo from actually rotating into your jungle. So, now they pick Diana, they're like, oh, wait, hold up. This is... Well, they take the Varus, that's standard. I mean, I think Light played Varus every single game. And then, they're like, what to take here? Oh, wait, no, it was in... Yeah, it was here, sorry. So they hovered the Leona, which I thought they would potentially go Leona, to be honest, so it avoids it getting banned. And then they swap it to the Zac. Because then the Renekton can't get close to to their carries whatsoever. The Diana is never going to invade. And now unless you get like a ridiculously oppressive mid lane matchup like Zoe, then she's not going to go into your jungle either. So Zac is completely safe here. So this was drafting done right. They do get Aurelia, which, I mean, Aurelia can get countered here, so she can't get Permaprile, which is what they do. So now we see their bans come through. They take Callista here. I don't know. I don't think if Callista was great here, they could have just gone Aphelios and they would have had an actual completely dominant draft. Well, not dominant, but Aphelios would have been huge here, even though Zac can get on top of him. Like, Zac's going to get on top of any ADC. So they get the Alistair here, more CC to layer with the Zac, and now the Viego and the Varus can do whatever they want. Like, this last pick doesn't even matter. They take the Kennen here and put it into Scout in mid, but yeah, so at this point, Xayah was still shit. I think 11.15 was before Xayah got her buff, I think. But I don't, yeah, I mean, they could have taken it there. I mean, potentially, but I still think Xayah's a bit meh. I even think now she's like, the Xayah Rakan matchup is carried by the Rakan, in my opinion. I know a lot of people right now are like arguing that Xayah's like top tier. I just don't see it. Especially considering her ultimate is a defensive ultimate. If you've got a champion that has a defensive ultimate against a champion like Aphelios that doesn't have a defensive ultimate, you know who's always going to win. Like, it's kind of stupid, like, in a way. But then you also have, yeah, it's just odd. It's just odd. It's also like the Orianna Ryze matchup, right? Ryze can really push Orianna early into the game, but then when he gets 6, that's a utility ultimate rather than the damage one. So then as soon as he gets 6, the Orianna actually just beats him. Like, she'll just kill him over and over. So again, there is a lot of things. I mean, yeah, and obviously this game ended up going to Viego just completely popping off. Like, he was huge because they got a really good draft. But then they tried to force it a second game in a row, which is just bad drafting. So, I don't know. I feel sorry for Tarzan. Like, Icon is absolutely terrible. Look at this. So, look at the state of what he has to deal with right now. So, the side of LNG against FPX, like, these three, like top, mid, and support, completely inted, and he still did well on the Viego. And then we have game 2, top, support, inted. What you notice, Renekton, absolutely terrible in terms of overall drafting from the side of LNG. They keep forcing this Renekton, even though Ali just ints on it. Now, the one time Ali plays something different is Jax. He completely 1v9 the game. So, you know, it's very, again, here, Renekton, Viego. So, he did pick the Viego here and he did shit with it. So, you know, he must put practice in it. Again, Viego, Renekton. Oh, wait, no, this was side of EDG, actually. This was the one game they won. But, again, still, actually, my point still stands for Renekton. So, I don't know. Like, I like, Tarzan plays amazing almost every game. Like, even in the games where they're griefing, he still does well. Like, it's so sad to see. It's very sad. But that is what it is. So, we'll end that video for YouTube.